Afternoon from Folkestone. Quite an unusual day here, low key as far as the meeting goes, but a pretty spectacular star in Mike Smith, the American jockey, the Hall of Fame jockey, who joins us now in slightly more comfortable conditions than he's been experiencing in the last few minutes. You've been out walking the track, Mike. What do you think?
Oh, it's great. The new word I've learned is undulating, so it's certainly that. You know, it's kind of got waves in it, but it's just beautiful out here.
Now, this is sort of the fulfillment of a dream in some ways, because you were over here 20 years ago and you in Ireland and you rode the Irish 2000 Guineas winner. I think at that time you probably thought you were going to get certainly an offer to come over and ride at some stage of your career, but it just hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't, you know, and I really thought that would lead into something, but just never came through. It wasn't about a year or two after that I was actually supposed to come to England to ride a horse called Lure. And the last minute, it got canceled the whole trip, so it was rather disappointing. So once I finally got the chance again, 20 years later, I certainly took it.
But you're on the treadmill a bit, aren't you, as a jockey in the States? I mean, you go from one meeting to the other. They all seem to merge into one. There would be very, very rare opportunities for you to actually take a break or step back from it at all.
Yeah, this has sort of been like a holiday for me, really. I've been here for 4 days now, and been out in Newmarket riding out works in the morning for Luca Kamani, and just having a wonderful time.
What do you think it's like going to Newmarket and seeing something completely different? You're 45 years of age. At this stage of your career, many jockeys, of course, have retired or they're winding down. Could this be a new lease of life? Do you see yourself getting there and having the old fires rekindled?
Well, it certainly could be. You never know what things lead to, I mean, of course, I thought, 20 years ago it already led to something like this, but, yeah, we'll see what happens. Never say no. Never say never.
It was my privilege to actually commentate on your win in Ireland 20 years ago for RTE Radio. And I remember it distinctly. You were out in front for a long way, or you were certainly up there for a long way. That was first time on that race course. That must have been a bit of a challenge for you.
Yeah, it certainly was, but I had a really good, Forster All-Star was a really good horse. He was very kind, easy to ride, and he just took to it really well. And if they do, well, it's much, it's easier for you, and he did that, so he actually lost the lead there about an eighth of a mile out, and then regained it right at the right time.
He was, as you say, he was a real fighter. I don't think he actually won a race after that, did he? Or did he win one more in the States?
I'm not sure if he won a race after that, but he was second in the Breeders' Cup after that. I actually won it on Lure at the time. That was a horse that I was supposed to come over and ride in the Sussex handicap with. But I'm not sure if he won one after that, but he ran some really big races after that.
And what are your memories of that day as far as other jockeys are concerned? Because there were a lot of famous names riding in that race.
The greatest was in that race. Lester Pickett was in the race, which was amazing. Stevie Coughlin was riding still back then. Christy Roach, Pat Ettery. I mean, it was just like you said, the champions of champions.
Freddie Head, Mick Kinnan.
Yeah, Mick Kinnan's my favorite. He's one of my favorites, Mick is. And yeah, so it was special to me. I look back on that race now, and to see the names that were in it, it's pretty incredible.
Of course, recently here, I mean, we could talk forever about the great horses you've ridden, Giacomo and many others, but Zenyatta is the one that everybody recalls and everybody remembers. Let's look at that win in Santa Anita when she just came from an impossible position. I mean, were you always confident that you were going to win that day?
I knew down the backside that she was going to run really, really well. She was moving really good, and even though it was still a ways back, I felt like I still had him in her sight anyway. I mean, she's just an incredible horse. When you turn her loose, she makes up such ground with such ease and very quickly. And whenever I was able to cut the corner going around the final turn and then get back clear on the outside, I knew she had a big shot to win it.
And then a year later, of course, she came in for great criticism when she suffered her only defeat. Do you feel now, looking back, do you think that was completely unwarranted, that criticism?
No, and honestly, I put it on myself, to tell you the truth. I mean, I certainly wouldn't do the same thing over again, because that means I'd run second. So I got to figure out some way to win it. So to me, if I had to do it over again, I would have certainly tried something different. Exactly what that would be, I'm not sure, but it would be something.
You seem, just listening to you after the race, you seem to place great emphasis on the fact that she had to do her own thing in the early part of the race. I mean, would you still stick by that?
Yeah, you know, she just seemed lost the first part. She got squeezed just a little bit leaving there, and early on, the footing wasn't to her liking. Early on, she actually didn't even realize she was in a race really till we hit the far turn. And by that time, we'd gotten back 20 lengths at least. You know, I mean, it was to get back 20 lengths of the best horses in the world is really hard to make up the ground, and only a horse like her that could almost pull it off. I mean, she comes up a nose short, if that far. You know, so. Even in defeat, it was an incredible effort. I think that she showed the world really how great she really was in that race.
But 100 yards out, did you think you were going to get up? Heart of hearts?
I really thought I was going to, and my hat's off to Blame. He never folded. I needed him to fold just a little, and he never did. He kept digging in and trying, and that's what held me off.
Well, it's all about great horses, great personalities, and it's great to see you here. We could talk forever, but there's one or two things I'd just like to touch on. One of them was the jockey series, the one on TV, and you were one of the great stars of that, along with Chantal Sutherland, who you had a relationship with at that time. Just tell me about the series and how it was received in racing.
I mean, people seem to really like it. You know, it's sad that it had to end. It would have been great if they could have kept it going and start using different riders and trainers and just really move into racing. But the ratings just weren't quite good enough. But it was fun to do. In the beginning, it started out not so fun because you got cameras around you all the time, following everywhere you go. But once you get used to everyone in the crew. And they make sure and use the same crew, so you get very comfortable with all of them. And next thing you know, it's just you don't even realize the cameras are there, and you're actually just living your life. And so it's pretty cool to go back and see it, on TV.
And Corey Nakatani, he was the bad guy, wasn't he?
Well, I kind of made him seem that way just a bit, but he's actually a good, very good person, very good friend of mine.
You reckon he played to the cameras? You think that was he wanted to be that sort of role?
I think he might have. I think he might have played to it just a little. Although he was actually pretty upset that day over something that he probably, if he had to do all over again, wouldn't have been. But he actually got a little aggravated that day.
Mike, just about today, obviously this looks a good thing. You've looked at the track. Is it going to, from what you've heard from Wesley Ward, is this going to suit, are the conditions going to suit?
It certainly should. I mean, it's 5/8 straight. I mean, he should have no problem with that. I would like to see what he's going to do when he hits some of the dips. As long as his balance is okay, I think he's going to be fine. Wesley said he's a very talented colt. He's very fast, so I look for him to get a good jump, hopefully, and be on his way, and maybe that'll lead us over to Royal Ascot.
Well, if he does the business, you'll be back, and will you stay the whole week if he comes back here?
Yeah, I certainly will. Yeah, I'll probably come back after the Belmont, so I'll be here from probably the 12th on to the 18th or 19th. You can come on back to the States.
And what have you got lined up in the Belmont?
Right now, the horse that Astrology is not going to run in it, so I'm looking right now. I see that Bob's probably going to run more than one, so hopefully, which is Baffert, hopefully I pick up one of his.
Well, listen, it's great to talk to you. It's great to have a Hall of Famer here at Folkestone. It's really brightened up our day here. We wish you well, and we certainly hope you're back for Royal Ascot.
Well, thank you, and I certainly hope to be back.
Mike Smith talking to us here at the races, and we've got a big card lined up for you this afternoon, starting at 2:30 with Mike's Ride.